This is the Mod 10 case study, Parental Apathy. This is John Hamilton. A chat with the principal. Category 1 asks to identify the problem. What do you know? Upon chatting with the principal, I determined that there was no PTA or PTO at the John F. Kennedy School. I know that the principal made minimal effort and also gained minimal results from his efforts in trying to establish a greater school community relationship. The principal believed that just from a few phone calls to parents and community members, he could gauge the intent of the community, and for those minimal efforts, he really didn't gain much of a foothold on community support. I know that the principal did agree to some kind of parental involvement in the form of an advisory board, and I know that there was a very poor effort made to contact the parents. That was kind of all put on the students' shoulders at the very end of the day, and trying to get your students to relay a message to parents at the end of the day is not an efficient way to communicate. What do you need to know? I need to know the past efforts and programs. How did they fare? Why did they fail? That sort of thing. I need to identify the movers and the shakers in the community so that I can determine, what kind of hold they have over the community, influence over the community, and potential opportunities that can come up from establishing a relationship with them. And then also, what communication outlets are available currently at the school? Is there a newspaper? Do they send out emails? Do they send out a newsletter? Things like that. The action plan. Category 2 is the plan of action with appropriate strategies for implementation. So the 3 strategies for implementation that I came up with: 1. Create a plan to increase school-community relations and present this to the principal. My idea behind this is that, being an assistant principal, I need to get the principal on board. And I get a sense that he doesn't really want to put any effort into establishing a school-community relationship, or any programs for that matter, but he does recognize its importance. So if I can present him a plan that shows that it benefits the school and the community, and mostly the school, then I believe that he will just put that on my plate, and hopefully I can take that away from him and see what I can do. So that's the first thing I need to establish, is to get the support of the principal. The next is to utilize new and existing communication outlets to establish contact with parents and community. Again, I need to find out what communication outlets are available, and then we can start using new ways to communicate with the community, whether it be, like I said, like a newsletter, or maybe even getting translators for a growing Hispanic population and people of other ethnic backgrounds and things like that. Lastly, develop and implement school community programs. So after establishing contact and nice, clear multiple forms of communication, we can start engaging a sense of the needs of the community and what kind of support we have, and then start developing some programs as a result. The resolution for all. Category 3, resolve issues based on promoting the success of all students. So how will the action plan create a resolution for these problems that I mentioned before? Rationale for resolution and promoting success for all students. First of all, I think that increasing parental community involvement is something that will benefit each student, because support starts at home. Students don't just stop learning once the bell rings, but they continue to learn, and a great source of that learning comes from the parents, and students have a much greater chance of success if they have parental support. On the flip side to that, if parents are invited in a nurturing, warm environment that is family friendly to the school, then they feel like they have a say in education. And you don't only open those opportunities up for parents, but say, to students, you don't have to have parents here. So then that you can have a grandparent or an uncle or someone like that, and that actually makes the whole family and different diverse family units feel more welcome. Next, streamlined communication will lead to maximum involvement. If you streamline communication and you reach as many people as possible, then you're going to have a greater chance that a greater number of people will get involved, and that's just a win-win. You have to establish smooth and multiple routes of communication. New programs and projects from communal support and parental support, those things are going to produce good results. They're going to produce more support for the student. At the same time, they may also produce some new forms of financial support as well, which will enhance learning programs and the learning experience overall for students. Reflection. This is the debriefing from the problem. What was I thinking? For starters, I was thinking that when I first read the case study, that I needed to establish some kind of partnership with the principal, some kind of way to establish cooperation, or at least, since we both understand that community involvement is important, that at the very least I would get him to let me take on the role of trying to establish a greater school-community relationship. That was what I was thinking at first. Now, what I was feeling was helpless. When I heard and kind of read about the attitude of the principal, me being an assistant principal, I don't know a whole lot about leadership dynamics and the exact role that I would play as an assistant principal. So not knowing that, I just kind of felt helpless, just seeing his attitude and his efforts. And I was frustrated as well at his inability to see the importance and to see that he did not do as much as he could, and that he is really leaving a valuable asset. He's kind of leaving it on the table there and not reaching out to the community. What I was valuing, I valued that the community members and the parents that actually tried initially with the principal's minimal efforts. I also valued that he had some kind of acknowledgement of the importance of a school-community relationship. Lastly, the unresolved issues open for further investigation. Principal's willingness to cooperate. I'm just kind of throwing it out there that I need to establish a plan. I'm assuming that I'll get him on board. I can take this off his plate and I can run with it. That remains to be seen. I don't know if he will want to go any further with this or not. Parental community involvement. I believe that with new routes of communication established and new programs can be developed, and I believe that parental support as well as community involvement will increase, but that remains to be seen. Success of the newly implemented programs. We don't know how successful they'll be. It all depends on community involvement, and if the principal is willing to cooperate and let me kind of take on this role. But those would be open-ended questions. Linking the case study to Standard 4. Supporting Standard 4. Component 1 collaborates with family and community. I believe that clear multiple routes of communication will open up collaboration with family and community. It'll make it much easier for families, community, and schools to work together if clear communication is established. New programs and projects, um, I believe that in order for those to be successful, then the school must collaborate with family and community. Um, that's the collaboration is crucial for these things to work and to benefit either party involved. Component 2 responds to diverse community needs and interests. I didn't really get in specifically to the new programs in the resolution and the action plan, but the new programs, for example, could be like volunteering, cultural, and diversity exchanges, where the community educates school leaders on culture and diversity, and so that faculty, staff, and administrators alike can educate the whole student body on different cultures. And this would be a service that was directly relayed to the school by the community. Volunteering, students can go out and volunteer to fulfill some of the interests and needs of the community. I believe that new ways to communicate doesn't just mean a new media source like a newsletter. It could be in the form of translators to reach a growing Hispanic population. It can also be folks that go out and visit with members of the community that have intellectual disabilities and provide them further services so that they can get involved in the school as well. Component 3 mobilizes community resources. New programs, new programs, for example, like fundraisers, can only be successful with the support of the community. And the greater community support, the greater the result of the fundraiser will be. Communal support, example of that would be getting the community involved and coming together as a whole and voting for a measure, something that will improve the school. And overall, if you improve the school, you're going to improve that educational experience, which can filter down to each student. Thank you.